Washington, D.C., our President Donald Trump praised the Supreme Court on Friday for a landmark ruling that limits federal judges' power to impose nationwide injunctions, calling the decision a monumental victory for the Constitution. Trump said, it protects the separation of powers and the rule of law by curbing what he described as judicial overreach. In a 6-3 decision, the Supreme Court ruled that the widespread use of nationwide injunctions likely exceeds the authority granted to federal courts by Congress. The case originated from Trump's executive order aimed at ending birthright citizenship, a key and controversial issue for the administration. This morning, the Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law, the president said at the White House. He described nationwide injunctions as a grave threat to democracy and expressed optimism that the ruling will allow the administration to swiftly proceed with several policies that had been blocked on a nationwide basis, including his bid to end birthright citizenship. Attorney General Pam Bondi suggested the Supreme Court is likely to rule on the merits of the birthright citizenship case during the next term starting this fall. Trump reiterated his claim that birthright citizenship, a provision of the 14th Amendment, has been misapplied. Hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason, he said, adding, it was meant for the babies of slaves. The president praised Justice Amy Coney Barrett for authoring the majority opinion and thanked the justices who sided with her. However, the ruling drew strong dissent from Justice Sonia Sotomayor. She warned, no right is safe in the new legal regime the court creates, highlighting potential future risks, such as restrictions on firearms or religious freedoms. Sotomayor criticized the decision for making it harder for courts to block unlawful policies, unless through complex class action lawsuits. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche also welcomed other Supreme Court decisions handed down Friday, including a ruling allowing parents in a Maryland school district to opt their children out of storybooks addressing gender and sexuality. This was a great ruling for parents, Trump said. Beyond the court rulings, the president touched on trade and tariffs, signaling progress in negotiations with several countries, but warning that the U.S. will soon send letters demanding payments. On Iran, Trump expressed support for a potential new agreement, including independent inspections of nuclear facilities. When asked about the possibility of military action should Iran continue uranium enrichment, Trump replied plainly, sure, without question. Although Trump mentioned plans for talks with Iran during the NATO summit, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt later stated there are no current plans for formal meetings. Subscribe to our channel to stay updated with the latest news and in-depth coverage.